Ethiopia, population 57 million, capital Addis Ababa, official language Amharic, major religion Islam, life expectancy 47 years, average salary $1 a day. Also known as Abyssinia, Ethiopia was an empire for 2,000 years. Since then, Marxist military regimes and terrible droughts have ravaged the country.
The government doesn't allow film crews into Ethiopia, so I pretend that I'm a tourist with the unusual hobby of visiting distant tribes, this time the Mursi. I never scout my film expeditions beforehand. I go on a hunch whenever I can, and always bring the much-needed medicine.
As Belgian explorer and ethnographer Jean-Pierre Dutilleux and his team move past the well-groomed terraces and fields of the Konso tribe, they enter an ancient and barren land in search of the Mursi. It's March. The dry season is over. Dutilleux makes a stop at the Hummer tribe to collect more information.
The Hammer are well known for three reasons. They produce fine pottery, quality honey, and they flog their women. The women submit to the flogging with pride. It is how they prove their devotion to their husband.
Jean-Pierre is allowed to witness a cattle jumping demonstration by the young men of the Hummer tribe. This is their initiation into adulthood.
One day, I hope to return and stay longer with the Hammer, but I must go on and find the Mursi tribe before it is too late. There's a clock ticking in my head. At any time, a storm could wipe away roads and bridges, stranding us here for months. Finally, we see our destination, the cradle of mankind, the Omo Valley. This particular tribal journey has been a dream of mine ever since I first heard that the Mursi women wear these remarkable lip discs. They share this uncommon custom with a tribe of Kayapo Indians that I filmed in Brazil. Two tribes separated by thousands of miles share this extremely rare custom with one major difference. It's the men of the Kayapo tribe who wear the lip disc to scare away their enemy. Here, among the Mursi, the lip disc is worn exclusively by the women. They see it as beautiful. At puberty, the girl's bottom lip is pierced and a small disc is inserted. They gradually increase the size of the disc, year by year, until it reaches a dramatic 10 inches in diameter. Did the custom begin centuries ago to discourage slave traders from taking young girls? Do they do it to stop demons from entering their mouth and spreading diseases? Both guesses are wrong. The size of the disc sets the price of the young woman's dowry. The larger the disc, the more cattle her family will receive from the groom's family. As many as 50 heads of cattle will be paid to marry a girl with a large disc. Still today, they start their fire with this ancient technique going back to the beginning of mankind. An 800-year-old mummy was found near here by anthropologists. They named her Lucy. As a young woman, Lucy was probably lighting her fire this same way, 8,000 centuries ago. It boggles the mind. So much time, so little change. The reason may be that this is one of the most remote corners of Africa, isolated from the rest of the world by 12,000-foot mountain ranges, the swamps of the Nile in Sudan, and the desert along the Kenyan border. Natiri had a bottom front teeth pulled out to allow saliva to flow freely and keep her enlarged lip moist at all times. Otherwise, under the constant pull of the disc, it could break off. How many children do you have?
I have 2 children.
And what are their names?
Oh no, I can't tell you their names. It would bring my children bad luck if I told you.
Have you lost any children?
Yes, that's the way it is with us. Only the strong can live.
The Mursi's main crop is sorghum. It provides most of the carbohydrates in their diet. Their seemingly endless routine and constant chanting puts me in a hypnotic state. Time becomes irrelevant. After Nabali is done grinding the seeds into a fine flour, she adds milk or water and boils the sorghum mixture in a clay pot. Sometimes the mixture is allowed to ferment into a sorghum beer. The Mursi complete their diet with beans, milk, honey and meat. I must admit, the sorghum porridge tastes pretty good with honey.
After feeding her children, Nabale talks with Dutia.
Yes, it hurt a lot when I pierced my lip. My father got 38 cows when I married Banyese. My husband likes it a lot. Yes, I think I'm beautiful.
I wonder what Nabali would think of the kids in our so-called advanced society that wear nipple, belly button and eyebrow rings, poke studs through their tongues and wear tattoos on every conceivable part of their body. The Mursi's concept of beauty is so different from ours, yet just as valuable and worthy of respect. After a few days, I'm getting used to the lip disc myself. I'm beginning to understand why their men find it attractive. Nabali is very beautiful. Cultivation is the work of women and girls. Herding is for men and boys. Banyese, Nabali's husband, will tell you that he has 45 cows and 2 wives, in that order, which means Banyese is a wealthy man. Cattle is their currency. Not only does it provide milk, meat and leather for their clothing, it is also the only true measure of a man's wealth. A typical Mursi settlement consists of 4 or 5 families herding their cattle together. The Mursi will do anything to avoid slaughtering these animals. It is only done out of extreme necessity. But the cow's blood, well, that's a different story. It is prized as a source of great strength. To the Mursi, blood is the original renewable resource.
For the Mursi warrior, there's nothing like a half-gallon of hot blood first thing in the morning, and then wipe your mouth with dry cow dung. It's clean, absorbent, and available. Au naturel. During the dry season, the Mursi leave their villages and drive their cattle closer to the Omo River. The Mursi have an aversion to body hair. It's considered unhealthy. Both men and women remove all their pubic hair. The only hair that is left adorns their head. This is also one of the few remaining places in the world where people are totally unconcerned by their nakedness.
Banyese is applying a thin layer of clay to Ulbudong's back. While it is still wet, he uses the tips of his fingers as a brush to create a variety of patterns. The Mursi view the human body as a living canvas. Their art is designed to seduce women. Banyese believes that the paint on his face gives him supernatural protection. He wears it to frighten his opponent during the donga or his enemies during battle.
The Mursi have always been powerful warriors. One way to channel violence and settle disputes is the donga. Only unwed men compete in these duels to prove their manhood and courage to settle disputes over girls. To win, you just have to knock out your opponent. Your prize is often a girl chosen by the women. This is only a practice bout. The real duels will take place in the fall and become extremely bloody. It is strictly forbidden to kill your opponent. Should this happen, the killer is banished from the village for life. His land is confiscated, and if there are any girls in the family, they are given to the victim's family as compensation for their loss. Older men, like Banyese, act as referee.
Before, we only had spears, no guns, and this land belonged to the Bodi, another tribe. One day I crossed the river and I came here and I killed a Bodi with my spear. Then they ran away. We Mursi were strong and many, so we took this land from them. Now it is our land.
The Mursi have allowed me in their families. I, in turn, take a moment to show them mine.
Jean-Pierre realizes that the Mursi have given up their spears for automatic weapons from Somalia and Sudan. One Kalashnikov automatic rifle is worth 4 cows. It is estimated that there are more than 1 million weapons circulating around Ethiopia. Stone Age people and modern weapons. It's a deadly combination. Since the introduction of automatic weapons, the Mursi have participated in the near extinction of the wild game in this region. They see wild game as a free meal.
Women and children sleep together. The men stay close to their cattle. With each passing day, I become more familiar with their daily routine. The women fetch water, make a fire, cook the morning meal, and feed the children. The never-ending grinding of the sorghum punctuates the rhythm of their lives. Life inches on, generation after generation, unchanged for thousands of years.
Sorghum is a staple in their diet. They harvest the crop in 70-day cycles. A good rain may result in 2 crops in the same period. If the cattle are pastured too far from the fields, the men and women will split up for months at a time. The women stay close to their crops, the men to their cattle. The Mursi gradually become accustomed to Jean-Pierre's presence. A trust develops, and he begins to learn a little of their language.
Only now can I begin to offer some relief to their most basic medical needs. Guinea worm infections and conjunctivitis are amongst the most common ailments here. Some aspirin, mixed with vitamin C and quinine, can make a world of difference in treating malaria. But it tastes awful. Despite their apparent good health, many Mursi die each year from malaria, yellow fever, and the sleeping sickness carried by the tsetse fly. In years past, the women carved their lip plates out of wood. Today, they are made of clay gathered by the river banks. When the carefully crafted discs or plates are ready, they will bake in the fire like pottery. One of the Ethiopian government's rare contributions to these men and women is criticism. The Muslim-dominated government doesn't like lip discs or nakedness. Whenever they come across these people, which is seldom, they try to make them wear regular clothing. And they tell them not to let the young woman wear lip discs. But the tradition continues. The young girls still go deep in the bush at night and pierce their lips. How is it that tribal groups like the Kayapo of Brazil and the Mursi of Ethiopia, living on opposite sides of the earth, share this unique tradition? Is it coincidence? Or could it be that in a very distant past they came into contact with one another, or shared a common ancestry? Could this be, even though the Kayapo are of Asian origin and the Mursis are black Africans? If these groups are allowed to survive into the 21st century, this question may be answered, but for now it remains shrouded in mystery. The longer I stay, the more I learn about the Mursis' values. Unlike Western society, they don't believe that real prosperity brings social harmony. These ancient people define paradise as a patch of fertile soil and good pasture, an abundant flow of milk, Blood and honey brings harmony to their society. In other words, the harmony of man comes from living in harmony with nature.
But values have to stand the test of social reality. And for the Mursi, cattle are their reality.
If I have a Kalashnikov rifle, I can protect my cows and my family from other tribes. If not, they would take everything away, even the land. That is why I don't mind trading 6 cows for 1 Kalashnikov. It is because of no rains that we had to take this land from the Bodis. But today, the Bodhi are many, and they are getting stronger. They steal our cattle and food and kill some of us. You are a guest. You must leave. It is too dangerous. We have too many problems. I'm sorry. I am Mercy. I don't know about government. Nobody comes here. No police, no court, no school, no clinics. I know only Mercy, nothing else. I live here, I marry here, and I'll die here. I believe in God when I meet an elephant on the path and kill it, sell the ivory and buy a machine gun. All that I get from God. I didn't work for. All the men want girls with the big plates. They're very nice, very beautiful. That's what we believe.
As the women fetch the water, once again I think of modern man, who takes for granted water and power at home, walks the surface of the moon, and builds nuclear weapons. And I wonder, who is more successful or happier as human beings? The kids' enthusiasm for a simple piece of soap is as refreshing as the river cooling my bones. Simple things make them really happy. While so many of our children in our society, with their toys, television sets and video games, we rarely know the joy of living intimately with nature.
The Mursi have no central political authority or real chieftain, but some men are listened to with respect. They're called Jalaba. They're usually over 50 and have proven themselves to be men of wisdom, moderation, and experience. Their role is to maintain tribal traditions rather than make decisions for the group.
As animists, the Mursi pour milk in the ears of their deceased. Milk is a symbol of wealth that is carried by their dead into the next world. They bury their dead wrapped in cowskins in front of their homes. Cattle are driven over the grave to cover all signs of the deceased. The Mursi believe that maturity comes when the heart penetrates the eyes. A boy becomes a man when he can see with his heart.
Implementation of a national park system is being discussed as a way to protect this environment as well as the tribal people and their traditions. The Mursi live in relative prosperity for the time being. Their land is still fertile, but they've cut down a lot of trees, so they're losing more and more soil to erosion each year. Unless something is done soon, they face the same tragic droughts and famines that we see in the northern part of Ethiopia.